Hello everyone, I hope you're doing well today. Today we are going to be using a Strength Arcane character with a much higher amount of strength and essentially the bare requirement of Arcane to be able to use the Mariahs plus other weapons as well. The main focus is going to be the Executioner Sword as well as a hard swap to the Meteoric Ore Blade. I think we're all privy to how ridiculous this thing is in Invasions, but also this greatsword is very interesting because it has this unique R2 right here that is a vertical strike, meaning that it looks pretty similar to the crouch attack, meaning that this will be able to be used as a cool little mix-up that we can go for, and that should be pretty exciting, as well as its ridiculously powerful Ash of War as well, which also is extremely fun to hit, the drill, if you will. But yeah, this is the inventory, as you can see right here. Then we also have this as our talisman inventory, an absolute work of art, might I add. But you've seen the grid theory video. I already know you have, so you know we won't go over it again. But yeah, and then we've just got drip plus all of the good things that we kind of need to tick the boxes of. And yeah, we should hopefully have a pretty darn fun time using this. So why don't we begin? How's it going? It's post-production, Yegoro here. How you doing, baby? And I know what you're thinking. We're back with another Yap Sesh from the guy who uses Bionicle Heroes music for absolutely everything. And you might be right, but today we have something quite interesting to yap about. Now, first things first, we have a very interesting invasion here going on. So I'm surprised they didn't make it a 3v1, considering the logistics that went into this cave choice. But absolutely, the running teabag, just gotta hit that as we take the taxi by. Yeah, they were hosting in this little cave. I absolutely nuke him with the one-eyed shield. Yeah, not a shitter at all, bruh. That's 9 Swift Slash in a row, bruh. Like, where's my title shot? Like, before I could even comprehend what was going on in that invasion, it was already over. But needless to say, we nuked one, and that's all she wrote. She had to leave. Now, speaking of getting nuked, watch what Kevin's do out of hit stun. Yeah, so we might be on the cover of Brazzers. Just got Kevin'd. R1 out of hit stun, or excuse me, L2 out of hit stun, very clearly the most optimal intelligent choice that you can go for at any and all times. So, you know, that's nice, I suppose. But speaking of nice, what about a nice invasion area, such as the spot right before Radagon? I mean, it's crazy to me. It is legitimately crazy to me that a whole DLC area got added, multiple areas, and the most common invasion spot is still in front of this goddamn boss fog, and the one in front of Melania, stuff like that. Like, I don't know what happened. Like, maybe it's that Wukong game that came out, but dude, like, Elden Ring to me has felt like super, like, dead in comparison to normal. Like on my meta level character, which is the majority of what I play, like I can go like a good 5 minutes and get nobody. Look at that! Oh, that beautiful roll catch. Was it unnecessary? Maybe, but it did look cool though. The Ash of War into the roll catch R2. That is a feels good moment. Yeah. So I mean, you know, the Meteoric Ore Blade doesn't need any introduction. It's probably one of the best invasion weapons in the whole game. And the reason, there's a couple reasons for it. Now, obviously, first things first, you have the Armored Core 6 Ash of War, right? You know, like, you just actually have a fucking pile bunker with an explosion on the end, like, but... And, you know, it has so much forward momentum, so much damage. An example of what damage looks like for the uninitiated, just so you guys know what I'm talking about. Get that roll catch right there, GG, sir. But also, it is worth mentioning that if you did decide to use it just as an ultra great sword, it is the longest one. And its damage, I don't know actually if it does more damage than the Gugs. If I were to guess, the answer is probably no. But the great thing about big weapons is that there's a lot of people out there that just over rely to high hell on hyper armor, and when you're using an ultra great sword or something similar, once you're in that gigantic level, oh, yo, hitting the drill is so fun. Oh my goodness, I'm pretty sure he could have rolled out of that, but he didn't. So all I can say is thank you, buddy. Yeah, so when it comes to the weapon itself, it's the longest ultra great sword. It took that away from the Gugs, which is quite impressive. So definitely a very strong invasion weapon. The worst thing about it is that it does just have 19 arcane as a part of its scaling, and then similar to the Mariah's, it does magic split, which is just odd. Like, I mean, it's not like there's an actual problem with it, it's just weird, you know? Like, arcane, get magic scaling, like, that's just interesting. Look at that! Bro, we actually just ran a train on... We did not just run a train on him, we just nuked him from orbit. Like, bro, every single time I I use that Ash of War, I'm like, yeah, like, I actually feel like I'm playing AC6. It's like, it's so funny. But yeah, we had our teammate die there, and now we're trying to pack this guy up. Now, something really, really, really cool about Storm Stomp on specifically the great swords that have the horizontal heavy attack is that it's a true combo if you do the tap version of the heavy attack, but if you charge it, it perfectly lines up the timing to be able to cover two very common options, which is if your opponent mashes out of hit stun, amazing jumping L1 right there, Jaggy. Sergeant Mitter at full display right now. And then there's also, if they panic roll, it also catches a panic roll. And if I'm not mistaken, the ones like KGS and BKGS will true combo their R1 from that charged R2. So very valuable weapon to have Storm Stomp on for invasions. This right here doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I thought it was a DC at first, but in hindsight, I think we just had some internet issues and it got ended early, so... And GG's, dude. But, yeah, man, and here's one of the things that's super nice about running this spread of stats, is that, we can bleed people, we can use these weapons that have arcane scaling, but because we still have 50 strength, it is able to still keep a lot of the fantastic benefits of of just a normal strength build. Like, you're going to be able to get very quick access to, say, your Jar Cannon. If I were using the Millicent's Prosthesis more, then I would be able to just pull out the Golem Great Bow or something of the similar. Now, granted, I don't have a dupe stash of Golem arrows as of right now, so not doing that. And yeah, like, one of the biggest swaps that I'm running as of right now is the Knight Rider Halberd, which is still... Yeah, bro, I'm not playing around anymore, bro. Like, what was that? I was holding all the way around, and I went straight off the ledge like that. Like, what even happened, bro? So, I don't even know what to say. But, yeah, anyway, we get the fantastic variety that strength builds do. Some of those things unique usually to strength builds, such as, like, great shields and just really heavy weapons. But we still get those, at least some of the advantages of arcane. Now, granted, we do have some weapons bleed infused that, scale well with strength, because the way that infusions like cold, bleed, and poison work is that they actually do make whatever the scaling of the weapon is just as a baseline better. you know? So, like, if you have a weapon like the Warped Axe, which has a very high strength scaling, while the strength scaling it gets from bleed will not be as high as heavy, you still do get a scaling, which is very strong. But yeah, with that 50 strength, we're still able to do very high flaming strike damage and shit of the similar. So yeah, fantastic stuff. Now, granted, I was having quite a lot of I was failing quite a bit in this play session of Invasions. It was actually a very annoying session that we had going on here. But a huge reason for that is that the inventory I put together was not actually as good as I initially thought it was. There were certain options I wish I had had closer and stuff like that. Look at that, bro. And of course he Ash of Wars. That's his initial his initial response, which, you know, just never expect anything else, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, super dangerous area that we're fighting in right here, and we were able to just barely put away the host right there. Yo, Chi-Chi's dude. But yeah, and then we also have some variety as well, such as the Blood Fiend arm right here. I'll be perfectly honest with you, I don't know if this is actually better on a high strength skew of the build, or if it's better on like a pretty even skew between the strength and arcane, or whatever the case might be. Now, what I'm doing right here, I should have played around with this more, is the off dagger is very interesting with a big heavy colossal weapon, and then we also do get that very high bleed build up on that R2. The guy collapsing right there. Yeah, because like if you guys have seen Omega's video where he was using offhand Syncadia with main hand Giant Crusher, the running R2 of the one-handed Colossal's actually not half bad. And then pairing that with the unreactable nature of the dagger is very good. And that one that we were specifically using was had a B in strength when bleed infused, which is really good. But yeah, anyway, we have this going on right here. Honestly, yeah, I mean, we had probably the most annoying enemy in the game as our help right there. I am a firm hater of that enemy. Speaking of hate, watch this, watch this. We've had a past with the moon. How do I always manage to get hit by the moon? Yeah, bro. Like, God, man. Like, I think I'm actually like 0-3 on this fucking YouTube channel versus people that just spam the moon. Like, I don't understand how I am constantly getting hit by this spell. It is so stupidly bad, but I still just manage it, bro. Like, I could not tell you. I could not tell you what part of my brain is missing. The part that says, "Oh, you will get hit by moon." Like, I've got that genetic malfunction. I don't fucking know, bro. But yeah, we're also doing a little bit of testing and whatnot with the Beast Claws. I'll eventually do like a designated video around the Beast Claws because they are just very funky weapons. But Red Bear Hunt fits on this build extremely well, and it does have a Omega powerful Ash of War for trading and doing like the majority of someone's HP. And then the Ash of War that I was using on just the standard Beast Claw, I think it's called Raging Beast. It's the one where you like run forward and like do a single attack and then you can do a follow-up. It's not the one that attacks like 5 times. That one's pretty interesting as a chase down because your forward momentum is so brutal that you're able to catch people thinking that they're far enough away to hit that heal, and you're just like, no, dude, get your ass back here. We're not done, you know. I might go for it here in just a second. But yeah, the axe is helping us stun when we need to. I don't think that the Bear Claws have perfect stun damage. And I think I might do it here. Oh no, I just absolutely murder him with the red bear hunt. Okay. I'm pretty sure I have at least one clip in here. Hopefully I didn't delete it prematurely, but I think I have one in here where I quickly swap from the red bear fists to that raging beast, and it made for a fantastic finisher. But yeah, thankfully we were able to get a little bit in the storehouse here. The storehouse is I once again, I don't know why, but at meta level, it's like the invasions here died for some reason. And it's just such a shame because this is an area that like should have people bustling through it all the time. And maybe it's higher than meta level where everybody's going through here, like 150 plus or something like that. But other than maybe for like a video here and there, I do not go above 125. Like, in my personal opinion, it is the perfect soul level for making a powerful meta character, but you also do not have enough stats to just literally make anything you want. Because, like, even once you get to, like, level 139, I think the mass majority of builds just have stats that you just don't even know where to put them because you just have too many, you know? And is something really a build if you're not making any sacrifices? I mean, that's my opinion. I don't think something that's that high of a level is an actual build. It's just a thing that has stats. That's also why I like lower level so much, because you have quite a lot of sacrifice you have to make. Now, to hone in a little bit on the invasion, this one's pretty brutal. We just had the guy hit us with the pot that makes it to where we can't heal for a while. But thankfully, these guys finally entertained me. Look at that! Look at that finisher right there with the Raging Beast. That was so slick. Like, swapping to that so quickly and going for that. That felt so good. But, yeah, they finally walked into the vicinity of one of these Flame Knights. The Flame Knights, if you're not using an Ultra, fucking suck to fight. And yeah, I was really wanting them to walk into that this whole fucking time, and they finally did. This guy right here was being a little bit of a paint sniffer, you know, like just a little bit with that Stormblade over and over and over again. But it's all good, you know, like, Miyazaki did design this game with the full intention of people being able to spam over and over. Like, I mean, that's why they made it to where, like, wait, hang on, let me stop yapping. Bink, bink! There you go. GG's, dude. GG's. Love that Ash of War. Feels so good to land on people. But, yeah, that's why they made, like, the Raya Lucaria sorcerers spam shit over and over. They made it to where the Clean Rots with the Halo Scythes just spam over and over. It's because monkey spam was hard-coded into this game. This is a monkey game for monkey people. Look at that amount of hyper armor. That is legitimately ludicrous. I do not have good poise. I have like 30, okay? And I just tanked through a fucking ultra great sword. That is legitimately crazy. I am going to be giving the Bear Claws a designated video in the future when I understand them a little bit better. I was just talking to someone in a group chat that was like, yeah, offhand axe, main hand, Beast Claw is actually pretty damn cool. The DC right there, very epic gamer. Need to pull your balls out your ass. Need to die like a man. Real men don't sit to pee. And they look at that you died screen. Anyway, yeah, so anyway, we're once again trying something different here. We're going to miss input right there and get hit by the Radon Sword, very nice. But obviously, Knight Rider plus Flaming Strike equals good things. And then we're going to have that offhand axe to be able to swap to and endure, and be able to just kill someone super fast. And it also just can work as an offhand, as you saw right there. For some reason, when you're using the Warped Axe, sure, you don't have much range. For some reason, people very, very frequently get hit by the backswing. More than most weapons that have a good backswing, It's like people want to get hit by it. Like they want to take 800 damage and 2 R1s. Like it's a marvel to me that people just let themselves get hit by that second attack. It's crazy. But yeah, then we go back to the Marias, and I was an enjoyer of the Executioner Great Axe in Dark Souls 3. And so seeing it come back and have, you know, these like cool runes on the side of it, like the blue engravings, and then you have, you know, this unique move set and everything. It's just a very satisfying weapon, and I like using it a lot. So unfortunately, they did not know what they were looking at right there, those two. So GG's guys. But yeah, and speaking of the Mariah sword, we are in the area where you initially kill the boss that gives it to you, and we're going to try and make a little bit of magic happen. Yeah, now I'll be honest with you, what's weird about this weapon, other than it being, once again, another arcane weapon that does magic damage, partially, is that it scales mostly with strength. When I had used this in the past, I didn't make a video on it because I just thought it was weak. I was using it on Arcane because it's like, if it costs 23 fucking Arcane to use, like, you would think that it would go on an Arcane dedicated build. No! No, that is not how the weapon works. It's actually meant to be used on a strength build that just looked at Arcane and said, I could see myself just putting specifically 23 into that stat. That'd be kind of interesting. Speaking of interesting, rather than using the Ash of War up there at the fucking top of the ladder, look what he decides to do instead. So he shows me his butt, and he lets me grab it. Thank you, dude. I appreciate it. That was very kind of you. I appreciate that. And look at that finisher, bro. Look at that finisher. And of course, Melania knocks me off the top. Bro, the Raging Beast finisher might actually be a cook. Okay? That actually might be a cook from your boy Sgt.Jager, bro. Now, it is time for the most difficult invasion of the video. These two that we have invaded, I have invaded many times before here in Limgrave. They are the type that will, they will do a lot of things. They are very intentionally ganking, and you know, like, they will absolutely butcher you with roll catch combos when you're at low HP. They will run away as long as it takes and camp on the side of like walls and stuff like that. And it's like, on one hand, you know, like, it can be annoying. At the same time, I do also appreciate people that make you play the game in a different way. Like, you know, like, people sometimes get very bent out of shape by how sweaty a invasion or a duel is. And you know what? Sometimes it is annoying, but also there are times where you're like, you know what? This is requiring something from me that's a cut above what I normally do, you know? And there is something, look at that hard swap. That's actually very interesting. Very interesting hard swap he did right there. Honestly, I wonder if I could have thrown that on the build. I don't know what the requirements are for the Putrescence Axe. I will have to try that in the future. But yeah, sometimes you fight people that that make you think a little bit harder. So even if this invasion was annoying, I do appreciate that. So yeah, this is what I mean by hanging out on walls. He's standing here with perhaps the strongest invasion weapon in the game, which is Endear Patas. It's very close if it's not number one. And you know, he's clearly honed his cuckoldry right here to a fine art, just parkouring on these rocks. Very, very interesting. Flame striking right here. And there's me with my grandpa reaction time, watching him fall off the cliff and still hitting the second L2 because I am actually a monkey. And you know, this is what's intended. Monkey game for monkey people, remember that. But I'm gonna start wisening up here eventually, thinking like, okay, this guy has no intention of doing anything other than just camping on this rock and whittling us down. Okay, so let's maybe try to force him to do something he doesn't want to. Now, granted, this shot right here I took, I couldn't fucking see him, so I was predicting that he'd go there, but I suppose he noticed me and did not go down there to that little spot he's been camping at. And so that cool little thing we could have done did not work, at least that time. Here he goes again, off that he goes, and this time I try something different. I'm like, you know what, let's just sit up here at the top and see what happens. I'm getting kind of shiced with these Canon quickscopes. Can you do the same thing with great bows? Yes, but what's interesting about the Canon is how quickly you can prepare the shot, whereas the great bow has to pull back the cord. You can also, just with the Canon, you're able to just one-hand it, and then while in the air, press the fire button, and you'll immediately two-hand it and be ready to shoot, which is very interesting. So here we're going for something that is very powerful, which is some halberd plus dagger. He has to respect both things big time. And my teammate here is running the sleep, which is brutal. Which is brutal. Oh, nighty-night. Yep. And here we have the teabagging. Yo, GG's, dude. GG's. It's okay. I've lost to them a million times.